Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hundoke with Reverend Yutaka Yamada, and this being the 100th day of the condition, and it's the 20th day of our third 40-day, but 100 days so far. This is Saturday, 22nd of May, the 11th of April in the 9th year of Shonguguk. So let's begin by offering a bow to our heavenly parents and true parents. Kyombe. Paro. And let's recite our family pledge in Korean and English. Thank you.
가족맨세 4. 전일국 주인, 우리 가족은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 찬조이사인 전주 대가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 4. Our family, the owner of Chongluguk, pledges to build the universal family, encompassing heaven and earth, which is the Heavenly Parent's ideal of creation, and perfect the world of freedom, peace, unity, and happiness by centering on true love. Okay, to ask if I'd like to ask Rex in the Solomon Islands if he can offer the opening prayer.
Let's pray. Our most beloved Heavenly Parent, our dearest parent of heaven and mankind, Father, we thank you so much for giving us opportunity to wake up and meet this new day. Today is a Saturday, 22nd of May, 2021. We thank you so much for this opportunity as we'll be sharing, Father, your word through Mother's autobiography, Father, to remind us, Father, the foundation that we are inheriting, that also, Father, for us to strengthen this foundation for the future generations, Father. Father, please, now our heart and mind, Father, together, beyond the true Mother, Father, to substantialize your ideal of Choniguk, Father, through the reunification of North and South Korea, Father. Father, please give your wisdom, your knowledge to all the think tank members, Father, to put all the necessary conditions, Father, so for this to be substantialized by next year, Father. Thank you once again, Father, please can be with us as we share this time from beginning to the end. I report this in our names, so Father and Maswak, bless us unto family, Ajo.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for coming. So let's offer a warm welcome to Reverend Yutaka as he shares with us this morning.
Good morning, our brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining this morning Fundoke. Today is 100 days. Really in Korea, also this 100 day is one of the term. So when they offer Chonson, they will make a target to offer 100 days. So this is one of the turn to change or going to next. So really I appreciate everyone to come together to put our heart to offer Johnson, offer our heart to our heavenly parents and true parents. So those Johnson Foundation become strong, unite, and we can expand for more person to welcome and to guide to our heavenly parents and true parents. So we can continuously offer our Johnson. So today is Saturday. Really 1 week is so fast. Each single day, each single moment, is time fly quickly. So let's spend the time preciously. Today, also several events, our Chinese People Federation, and next week also Divine Principle, Christian clergy, or many providential event. So how we can proclaim or testify our heavenly parents and true parents. Everything are actually ready in front of us. So how we will move, how we will involve, join, and pray is important. So let's go together. So yesterday also we share about Danbury prison part of true father and also true mother. So when we read and when we share centering on true mother's autobiography, we could learn, we could see, and also we could pray. But in the same time, I'm really appreciate of our all elder, blessed family, brothers and sisters, when you share, you are sharing, because you are the one who are there at that moment and really put chanson and fight, invest, overcoming in the each place and repent and also realize and overcoming those moments is really precious. And also some of you went to the difficult situation of the deep program is really not simple things in Japan. Also many people went through, and also some behind story in the Danbury prison time. Only some state person can visit, another person cannot visit. So those things really we cannot hear or we cannot know without the person's testimony, who are there, who are living there. In 1984, my parents and myself joining this movement, and I was 6 years old. So how, even there are so many things in the world, but how I can understand, and I really cannot imagine anything. So through Fundoke, of course, find and study and feel through prayer, but if listen testimony, really can feel more directly or substantially. So myself also through Fundoke, I can learn and realize many kind of things. And really we have to think how to inherit our second generation and also the third generation. Our next generation, they can learn only to read or only to watch some video, but there is some your direct testimony, and those atmosphere is really, really precious. So we have to think how we can deliver the message to our next generation. And of course, ourselves, we remind that moment, 84, 85, or before, you are there with excitement, commitment, excitement, heart. So we have to continue with this spirit and heart to show to the people, show to the society, and show to our heavenly parents and true parents. We should also remind and continue that spirit. So yeah, I'm really appreciate everyone's investment, sacrifice, and sharing, and also the contribution. So that time, Danbury prison time, father is inside of father was inside of prison. That's why mother was leading in the society to stand center of the providence. And now, currently, father went to spiritual world. A mother is staying in this world. Is some kind of a similar situation. So now, even father is in spiritual world, but mother take over to the all providence to stand the central position to lead the providence. So we have to unite well, understand again, and we will commit and go together. So through mother's autobiography, we can learn many kind of things. So today also continue the next part. So this is also mother's autobiography. So yesterday we share about Pohibak story. So Mr. Randall shared the link of the Pohipak's testimony. Did you read that? So I read that. So that testimony was really interesting. Some old story what Pohipak faced. So that time kidnapper kidnapped him. So he imagined many things. Maybe they try to kill me because of the movement, because attack to communists, because there are so many enemy, I will be die. So seriously pray. But in that time, mother seriously pray, and father also offer the fasting condition and without sleeping offer the prayer. And there behind of that, there is many kind of person's prayer and environment, and mother pray, and Pohibak get the message, you have to come out within 12 hours. So he really think, then he found a way to deal with them, and he found how to overcome, how to make the hole, make the way to go out from that place, and finally he could come out from that place. Next day, then those story was successfully solved. So I can explain, but I think please read that interesting story. So you can read, you can imagine how he was kidnapped and how he received the inspiration and guidance and how he could come out. So this is really great. So whenever we do, whatever we do, really prayer and get answer from heaven. We can see the mother's attitude. She had those Bohipak's challenging situation, dangerous situation, and what she did first. In the beginning, at the moment, the things she did first is to offer the prayer, ask God, Heavenly Parents and God, what should I do? How we will do? So offering prayer, put our Heavenly Parents, the first priority. What is our first priority in our daily life? God is first priority, or myself is first priority, or my interest, money? What is our first priority in our daily life? Also, we have to put our Heavenly Parents as the first priority. Then all the way will be opened, so we can learn from our true parents. Okay, so I will read that. As such events unfolded, a very difficult time turned into a time in which I was full of vigor. My desire to impart merciful love only deepened. Each day was rich with emotions, including cherished moment in which my husband shared with me his affection. At the start of each day, after he finished praying at 5 a.m., he would call me from a prison payphone and greet me with, my beloved mother. So even to mother, and all unification movement was facing the challenging, but father and mother totally unite and to turn into the victory situation. So each moment was the overcoming, each moment was the challenging, and each moment was the victory moment. And what is the strong power for true mother? Every morning, true mother, true father called to true mother, and true mother also talk with true father. So love each other, comfort, console, and encourage and share, pray each other for true father and true mother. How much beautiful and how much encouragement to not only father to mother, also mother to father. How much become the encouragement of this moment, and this how much longing moment this time. So we could see that. I was permitted to visit him at the prison every other day. I would be driven there in a convertible, and when weather permitted, I'd put the top down as we ascended the final hill on the prison grounds. Rain or shine, my husband always came out and waited for our arrival. With a longing heart, I'd smile brightly and wave from the car. Sometimes he would look totally worn out, having just finished mopping a floor or washing dishes. What wife would feel comfortable seeing her husband like that? But I would suppress my sorrow and hug him with a bright smile. I often brought our 2-year-old daughter, Jeonjin, for he would be so happy to receive and embrace her. So mother's expression is really artistic and really deep. Every other day, mother visited to father. So how much that moment was a longing moment. And to mother brought the Jeonjinim, 2 years old small baby. So father was also happy and smile. So really beautiful moment in Danbury prison. When our brief meeting ended, my husband would send us off as we drove back down the hill. Worried tears would start to fall from my eyes, wishing not to turn my face toward him and expose my weeping. I would just keep my face forward while waving goodbye. I knew that my husband would remain in place, his eyes fixed upon me, a prayer in his heart, waving silently until we were out of sight. So father and mother, even father was inside and mother is carrying the whole mission of the providence, but always father and mother unite together, then lead the providence together. So to the parents is showing the model how cooperate, totally husband and wife cannot separate, unite together and go forward. And next part, actually this Korean and the English part is a little bit different, but anyway, so I want to show the Korean part first, then later also English part first. You can see a little bit different. So I hope you can feel that. So this is the Korean original. So mother said, overcoming the sorrow and frustration, I led the church and the providence during the 13 months that Father Moon was in prison, so that the unification members of the world could continue their faith without anxiety or wavering. So mother is mentioning overcoming the all difficulty and lead the providence for 13 months during father in the imprisonment. So unification member could stand well without waving, without anxiety, like this. So English side is I will share. For the 13 months of Father Moon's imprisonment, I was coping with feelings of sorrow and injustice, but my responsibility to lead our church and the providence came first. I felt responsible for inspiring our members around the world while maintaining a firm axis with my husband, around which they would revolve unwavering in their life of faith. With God's intervention, we actually enjoyed a sense of stability. So my anyway, similar part, same part, you know that, but feeling a little bit, I feel a little bit different. I don't know, English is similar or different, but anyway, I'm just to share, I felt a little bit different. So this is some part, English part and the Korean original part. So the mother is express the heart during 13 months, how her carried on the providence and overcoming a lot of things together with Father and together with all our unification members. So that moment become also excitement or enjoying moment to overcoming. So we could see, so this Danbury prison time, we could see the mothers some sensitive sharing or deep artistic sharing. So we could lead and we could imagine the internal part and also their heart. Okay. When my husband was imprisoned, media professionals around the world gossiped and cynically predicted that the unification church would disappear. Some members of the media seemed to be anxiously waiting for that to happen, hoping to proclaim happily, "We told you so." The unification church is an empty shell, cracking like an egg with nothing inside. Its so-called believers are heading for the hills. So Mother also share that time the media and the people was starting to talk. Unification movement will be disappearing. And unification members, where are you going? You are going to the hill, empty egg. Wow, this is really many gossip or many newspaper message like this. So in the America, through big rally speaking tour, unification movement was really developed a lot. Many people are receiving influence with inspiring, with hope coming together. That's why some group jealous to our two parents and try to attack. So when your father entered to the prison, this was best opportunity for them. Then they totally target to parents and target to our movement. So in order to trap them, they made a lot of story and a lot of article and media create that kind of atmosphere. So to the parents, receive a lot of persecution or these kind of things, they overcame. Unification movement was facing challenging and also they united and overcame. And also our unification members, how about members? Members themselves also felt and faced challenging individually. To the parents could overcome and maybe unification movement facing challenging, but also even single our members face the challenging. Can you imagine all friend, family members, relative, clique, they read the newspaper to attack them personally, not only just as the movement, they will surely attack the personally. That's why these things is the challenge and trial even for individual members. So they face challenging and also overcame that. Mother said, even media said, unification movement will be disappearing and you are empty shell. But Mother said that did not happen. Quite the opposite. The number of our members and allies only increased. People understood that the US government had sent Father Moon to serve an unjust prison sentence for the crime of dedicating his life for the salvation of humanity. In their innermost hearts, all people cherish religious freedom. So even those environment, they become more strong, more determined, patient, unite, and through parents gave the order. You have to deliver those messages to all Christian churches and pastors and to deliver the truth. So those movements became more excitement and developed well. How to distinguish the truth and true things and false things? Do you know how to distinguish? This is also famous story. in order to distinguish the truth and false. That is to hit the things. When the people make the gold to be pure, they hit and hit and hit, and they put this into the fire. Then those impure things will be removed. Then finally, pure gold will be made. That's why true things is also same. Whenever they are hit and hit, if this is true things, become more pure, become more strong, become more developed. If these false things, if that was hit, easy to be destroyed or broken. That's why how about our true parents? How about our movement? Whenever we receive the persecution, we are hit and attacked. But the more we receive persecution, the more we develop, overcoming, become strong. That's why even further into the imprisonment, when we see those situations, when we society people see the situation, people see this is end that time of unification movement, but become more strong, become more developed, and people became more inspiring. So this is really the ideal way to the parents. They're showing the way how to overcome, how to gain the victory in the challenging or trial situation. So we can have a new definition of trial. What is the meaning of trial? Trial is to face challenging. Trial is to make people difficult. I think trial has the different definition now. Trial meaning is to make the opportunity, and trial to make the way to God, the way to overcome. So to the parents, show the way. What is the meaning of trial and how to open the new gate to our way in our life. So all members, brothers and sisters, united with true father and true mother, and overcame everything. Despite Father Moon's incarceration, our global work for peace continued. The 13th International Conference on the Unity of the Science was scheduled to convene within a month of his imprisonment for more than a decade. This annual meeting had brought scientists from around the world to discuss the unity of the science centered on absolute value. Staff and the attendees needed to know whether the conference would be held. Critics of the conference scoffed, saying, "It's all about Father Moon. Without him, they won't do it." Ignoring this, I simply said, "We will certainly hold the conference," and the preparation continued. So, the parents organized the All International Conference. So people think everything actually was carried by only True Father. So if True Father is not in the field, all things should be stopped, cannot continue, because main person was not there. But how about the result? Even people say negative things, but mother said, "We will certainly hold in the conference and continue." Mother already stood in the center of the providence and led everything and make it success. On September 2, 1984, our International Cultural Foundation conducted the 13th ICOS in Washington, D.C. More than 250 scientists attended from 42 countries. I met and greeted them one by one and took the podium to read the founder's address with confident resolution. Even though its founder was absent, the conference was a success. Scientists expressed gratitude and the staff members were happy. Everyone could see that this movement is of God and does not depend upon one individual. So Mother said, everyone could see that this movement is of God and does not depend upon one individual. So today we could see that all, especially meeting with father and mother every morning, call each other and met each other to encourage. Even media attack, persecution was happen always, but totally all members unite together, and father and mother show the vision and hope, and even providence activity wise, more invest, more develop, and more distributing and expanding. Those conference continuously happen. That's why the scientist VIP was also surprised and inspiring together with mother's leadership that time, with supporting to the father behind. So today also we could see, anyway, this time, this chapter, we are talking about Danbury imprisonment. So really your sharing and your experience in that moment is the precious things. So every day almost Danbury prison matter. I think this is maybe more 1 or 2 days we are talking about the Danbury prison. So this point is most challenging moment in American providence and world providence. But in the same time, we could see how mother support and lead, and how our all members unite together and develop that. And I think if not only inside of America, maybe some of you staying in the outside of America, I'm not sure how much those stories were coming to your place in other nations movement. So each nation, even to further inside the prison, but always unite together to develop. So we could see that. So through this situation, we remind again seriousness, determination, and the victory experience. So today also a beautiful day of Saturday, and there are many kind of things waiting for you. We can imagine in the beginning, before go out, we can pray and plan. What kind of things really I will create today? I will make a happiness to the people. I will share the grateful to our brothers and sisters. Then we can create beautiful day together with our heavenly parents and true parents. So once again, thank you for all our brothers and sisters to join today's morning fundoke. Let's have a great time. Thank you very much. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Reverend Yutaka. As always, so inspiring to hear. And all right. So again, seeing Mother being so determined to keep the standard high, never wavering in her faith, never wavering in her determination to really, bring, the people into awareness of our heavenly parents. Both our father and mother deeply love our heavenly parents, and they really, under any circumstance, continue the same way. And so, as Reverend Yutaka said, you get hit, it only proves that improves your resolve. You get determined to keep your faith no matter what. And this personally hits mother and father, and personally hits our movement. So all the members really rose up and just went out and witnessed to the ministers and continued, and so really feeling as a family, that through mother's expression, so much heart and love and emotion was expressed in her words that it's really proves again that they are the only begotten son and daughter. So thank you, everyone. So who would like to begin sharing? Yes, Nalko, go ahead.
I just want to share that around that time, if this is my memory, so if another Japanese members, if knows, and I'm wrong, please correct me, but when during Fathers in Danbury, I think Japanese members, like a fundraising team was created, and really fundraising for America, and also the mobilized Japanese members. I think at least 3 times, and I went 1985. That was 200 second batch, and 200 members mobilized to America, and then probably during fathers in Danbury, maybe church atmosphere was maybe very difficult, but at least when I was there, I guess, I don't know the European members, but full of members in the church. I was in New England region, which is like Connecticut and Boston and like all these place. But Boston church was Boston church is headquarters, but so many members like from everywhere, like Europe, like and then actually Reiko-san and Ibanez, I think same times we are mobilized, and also Rick was there, and but yeah, my memory was like so many members, and that's and also the same times I think started a Japanese restaurant in America, and then so that's why, like really feeling of those time, like not like a decline, like really many members visiting ministers, and also the Japanese restaurant is kind of trying to start. And I think one time Japanese members was collected in, I think, New York, and then because father wanted to multiply Japanese restaurant, so we are kind of pair up two by two. Then the father gave us like a seed money to start a Japanese restaurant. I think it just was $100 each, but in reality, it was difficult because many of us was fundraising or still fundraising in the church and visiting ministers, and also the goal was we have to bring 7,000 ministers to Korea. So that's why I don't think we couldn't start Japanese restaurant, but so that type of like atmosphere, and I think until that immigration problem, then many overstayed members had to go back to country. I think after that was really difficult atmosphere, but until then, I really my memory of church was like this is like a unification church kind of like every countries. And then when sometimes we gather and then like a leader make us sing a song, or so it's such an international atmosphere. So that was my memory. Yeah.
Thank you, Naoko. Yes, Reiko, and then after that, Mary. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that time, father, one brother, I was in Boston too, Boston church, staying, and one brother has driving truck and getting some food, helping the church to deliver, food to, I don't know, homeless people or so. Yeah, so we are visiting ministers for Kausa, but same time father is helping Christian church for them to deliver food to homeless people. I just wants to add that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Mary.
Yes, thank you very much. First of all, Reverend Yutaka doing so much background investigation of behind the scenes, and also Randall yesterday shared the link, and I was so grateful for that, because one time I had a chance to meet Reverend Bohi Park just like 2015 when he was quite ill and he was in the hospital, but he used to still come out, be driven out from the hospital to speak before the members, doing like the youth workshops and at Champyong. And he said that he really wanted to be able to finish his autobiography. And I don't know if that ever was the case, but I was so grateful to read some of those testimonies in the link yesterday, and to read his beautiful allegiance to Mother, like at that time. And I just want to share another thing that I feel like we, as Naoko was saying, like all of our lives are intertwined with our true parents, and at that time that was so crucial. So we do remember, what we were doing at that time. And in Mali, we didn't have the news, just like Reverend Ito said, we didn't get the news coming instantly. And I never actually heard of Bohi Park. I don't think I heard of Bohi Park being in prison at all until I read Mother's autobiography. And then I realized that actually, I suddenly realized that actually our members in Mali the whole center had actually been taken away at one point and put into what they called garde de vue, which wasn't a prison. It wasn't officially the prison, but it was literally just the same as prison. And they were kept there until a trial. But they heard very quickly that many people never had their trial and had been inside there for years. And it was a son of a police commissioner actually who had come to the center and been very inspired and wanted to move into the center, and but that had been too much for his father, and then with the whole of the center was picked up and put into prison. But myself, I was not in the prison, and then I was really conscious, like Mother, that feeling of Mother, that God has got to work through me, and how to get them out. And of course, I wasn't hadn't been there very long. I was only just, I was still pregnant with Mika, and I remember having to go to the prison and bring food for members who had done they'd offered 7-day fast before they went in, and they continued that fasting. And then eventually I could find a member who'd gone away to Senegal, who was an influential member who could contact people that could, change the situation for everyone. But I was just so amazed to realize suddenly that it was the exact same time. It was in 1985, around about May, something like that, or April 1985, when Father was still in prison. And I don't know that exact time that happened to Bohi Park, but it must have been a similar time. And so I was just so moved to think that so much was happening to us all over the world that we're just intertwined with what is happening to our true parents. And I still want to, feel I want to understand Mother's heart much more through that. So thank you very much, everyone, for this share time.
Thank you very much, Mary. Actually, first Susan and then Greg Stone after that.
Yeah, I just remembered talking about the ministers going to Korea one time. Another brother and I were in Chicago, but we were working in Detroit. And a group of ministers from Detroit was going to Korea, and two of the ministers had forgotten their passport. So I can remember going with this brother into Chicago while he went into the, I guess it must have been the Justice Department to pick up the new passports for these ministers. He said to me, "Oh, can you drive?" So I'd never driven in America before. I had an expired New Zealand driver's license. So here I was driving around the block in Chicago for the first time while he was picking up these passports. And then the two of us making this mad dash to the airport to get the passports to the ministers in their layover from Detroit to Chicago on their way to Korea. That was one memory I had of this time, but also at that time, Father had sent the 36 and 72 blessed couples to be IWs and regional leaders in America. And I can remember at that time, Mrs. Lee was an IW in Chicago region. And she was just so amazing. The ministers all really loved her. And, she would have them singing Korean children's songs. And, she'd, go for to an indoor pool or a gym to do some swimming, and she'd have all the people in the jacuzzi singing these Korean children's songs, and she had just such a bubbly, childlike spirit. And one thing she always used to say a lot was, you've got to have can-do spirit. So I always remember this can-do spirit. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Actually, that reminded me as well. I had to take a minister to get a passport, but I was in Tampa, and the passport office was in Florida, Miami, and it's a 5-hour drive, and you could only get that passport that day. So I had to drive 5 hours down with him so he could physically be there, get the passport, and drive 5 hours back. And then in 2 hours after that, he took the flight. Yeah, it was pretty intense. But yeah, go ahead, Greg Stone.
So something very brief, just as Mary was talking, I think someone yesterday was talking, actually we were told in Australia that Father had said that because he's in jail, we will also be in jail. And that actually came from Father, as my understanding. So it's very interesting what happened in Mali and, in other countries as well, something to that effect was happening. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Greg. You got your finger up there, Rex, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I think I just remember that time was very intense everywhere. I was in Congo, so I was at the center at the time. So actually it was a kind of reawakening of our members. So many countries, when many people they realized that Father was innocent. People was wondering why it had to happen. And many people wanted to come and find the truth. So they come and join also our movement. In Congo too, it was a bit hard for us. Every time we try to intensify our activities, the fundraising, also the witnessing. The many members also went for 40-day witnessing, pioneering to try to motivate people. And also at the time, the technology was not much high. So like in Congo, we could not just receive often news, what was going on. Sometime we can hear something from a central figure, Gregory Novalis, sometimes nothing. So we just have to, by faith, to encouraging ourselves, not to be more sad, but more activating activities. And we had one of our American brothers, so the time as we in media was just trying to collecting information, this and that. Interview one of our American brothers, then he just only answered with the song 21, the Holy Song Book, Suffering a New Life. So he just only sing that song to answer to the, the journalist. That was so interesting. It was also actually good motivation to us members. So I can see now, we can see that a true mother is leading the Providence not the first time. That was the first time a true mother was leading the Providence. It was successful. So true father was in prison. True mother took the lead for about 1 year, something like that. But now true father in the spiritual world, a true mother took the lead. So we expect definitely will be very successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay. Reverend Ito, go ahead.
Okay. At the time, I also the next country of Mali, Burkina Faso, and we receive, I think, the Today's World, journal, they mention about many news, with photo together from World Mission Department, and we read the story. And at the time from Japan, and a journalist, the name Kiyoshi Nasu, Mr. Kiyoshi Nasu, who is a former chief editor of Mainichi newspaper, made an interview to father, and he wrote about the positive news in, I think, Japanese newspaper. Yeah, and same time also we receive also, I think, a little bit later, and receive cassette tape of a religious freedom rally. We very excited. The speak of Southern Christian Church, Joseph Roel, he said, "Let's go to see the Lord," like this. A very exciting, hot speech. And also the Jerry Falwell, the very such prominent religious leader, made great speech. Everybody gathered together and one by one made the speech. And really we, remember at the time. Yeah. Same time, I think, I don't know that moment or not, we make a special signature campaign in the street and the different district of the member. And our 5 members was arrested by that leftist government and imprisonment. So we bring food to them. And I had testimony from them in the prison, inside prison, like a father did. They did, like a hundoke in the imprisonment. They convey and the sing a song. So another prisoner also now start to join together, when they come out. Just like it happened, small Danbury in Burkina Faso. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Reverend Ito. We've come to the time to close, but just a reminder, as Reverend Yutaka said, that we have some events happening tomorrow. One is the Chinese People's Federation for World Peace. There's a Japan quarterly invites everyone to this international filial piety event, and it's on at 5 p.m. Sydney time. And the other thing that's happening is on 26th of May is the World Christian Leadership Conference, and that's for all of America, North and South. So just a couple of things we can connect to. So I'll now share the screen so we can offer our unison prayer. So let's begin. Arju, Arju, Arju. Thank you, everyone, and hope you have a great day. And see you later.
Bye-bye.
Have a blessed
Bye.
day.
Thank you very
God
much.
bless.
Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Reverend Yamada, John,
Thank
Bye.
everybody.
Anthony,
Yeah, bye.
Nah.
Jacinta,
Nah.
Abel.
Bye. Thank you.
Ah,
Thank you.
April.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.